Swiss glaciers melted at an above-average rate this year, a monitoring body has said. Also trickling away, hopes that years of hefty declines had come to an end.
Since 3 weeks, we lost this amount of ice.
Earlier this year, glaciologists celebrated the above-average winter and spring snow dumps in the Alps. But in August, average temperatures were a few degrees above freezing. Scientists measured record ice losses across the country that month. In total, Swiss glaciers lost 2.5% of their volume this year. And that's despite what the director of monitoring body GLAMOS, Matthias Haas, described as a, quote, perfect year for glaciers.
So 3 weeks ago, the surface of the ice was up here, now it is down here. If we look at this at the annual time scale, last October, the surface was a bit higher than the end of the stake. So this is the melting we have experienced in the summer of 2024 so far, which is quite a lot.
One of the factors that accelerated the losses this year was dust from the Sahara, Haas said. This gives ice sheets a brown or rosy hue, which inhibits their ability to reflect sunlight back into the atmosphere.
If the trend continues that we have seen in this year, this will be a disaster for Swiss glaciers. They will completely or almost completely disappear by the end of the century. So it is needed that the temperatures don't warm so quickly as they have in the last years or decades, and that they stabilize.
More than half of the glaciers in the Alps are in Switzerland, where temperatures are rising by around twice the global average due to climate change. If greenhouse gas emissions continue to rise, the Alps glaciers are expected to lose more than 80% of their current mass by 2100.
Nike withdrew its annual revenue forecast on Tuesday. The sportswear giant also now stares at a holiday season likely to be filled with discounts and weak traffic on its website and mobile apps. Nike also postponed an investor day due for November 19th. Investors were spooked and shares went tumbling 6% in aftermarket trading. The stock was up and down earlier in the day after the company posted disappointing quarterly sales growth but beat Wall Street estimates on profit. The firm said traffic declines across its Nike-owned stores and websites were deeper than anticipated and led to an inventory backlog. The company added sales fell despite higher promotions at stores owned by its wholesale and retail partners. Nike's growth has stalled recently, in part due to on-trend rivals like On and Hoka. It's a tough environment for its new CEO to enter. Last month, the company said it would bring back company veteran Elliot Hill to fix things and take over from John Donahoe as boss. Nike's stock has fallen 18% so far this year, though it regained a tenth after the announcement of Hill's return. Withdrawing the outlook gives Hill flexibility to assess Nike's strategies and business trends. The firm said it allows him to develop plans to best position the business for fiscal 2026 and beyond. Nike had earlier forecast an annual revenue decline in the mid-single digits. The company did offer an outlook for its September-November quarter and forecast a drop in sales between 8 and 10%, higher than expected.
Sonia Ferreira has come to see what's left of her home in Atafona, Brazil, where a rising Atlantic Ocean is eating away at the coastline and taking beachfront properties with it. The 80-year-old retiree says it's taken years to return here because remembering having to leave is still painful.
It makes me very sad seeing this. I've avoided coming because memories come back in a sad way.
Atafona is just one of Brazil's coastal communities that has seen rapid coastal erosion caused by climate change. Some 500 houses have been destroyed in the area, along with the collapse of a 4-story building. In the last 30 years, the sea level has risen 5 inches in the region around Atafona. That's according to the United Nations report, Surging Seas in a Warming World. Here's marine geographer Eduardo Bulhos.
The report recently released by the UN about the coastal cities under direct impact of sea level rise projects a scenario associated with coastal erosion and marine floods. Areas such as Atafona, which suffer from chronic and extreme coastal erosion, are forecasted to lose around 150 lineal meters of coastal areas in 28 years.
One of the most popular seaside resorts on the northeast shoulder of Brazil is shrinking too. The local government is bringing in sand from elsewhere in an expensive effort to replace what has been lost to the ocean. As for the destroyed homes, Bulhos said, there's no turning back. Sea levels are rising faster than ever, according to the UN's Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, with the rate more than doubling in the past 10 years.